This division has so much freaking drama. A.J. Brown out. Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are not doing him any favors with what they are posting on social media. Simon, we're starting with the Eagles. I always want to buy the Eagles. We are betting on the Eagles in some of our long shot Super Bowl props. Plus 125 to win the division, 9-1 to win the conference, 17-1 to win the Super Bowl. Sirianni, you've been on the bandwagon, off the bandwagon, on the bandwagon. I'm not even going to say too much more. I want your take on this team as someone who lives and dies with this team.
Yeah, I would say even people like Chad who do not like Jalen Hurts still feel comfortable to bet on the Eagles just because overall they're such a good team. So, yeah, Sirianni, you know the deal with him. I just don't like him as a man. It's just our personality types do not mix at all. And I've tried to come around, right? He's won me a Super Bowl. But just even the clips they put up of the Eagles social team, he irks me, man. I can't help it, but I respect him. I think he's a good coach and he's underrated by the general public for sure. But this team this year, it's another new offense, right? It's another new scheme. I mean, Caleb Williams, who we talked about, he's played in the same offense longer than Jalen Hurts has in his career. This is Caleb Williams' second year in his offense. That's just how raw of a deal Hurts has had in his career, where it's just every year it's a new offense. And, most years the offenses aren't too different from one another. This is a totally new offense. And we will learn a lot, right? My big knock on Hurts coming out was I never thought he was going to have the IQ, football IQ, enough to last in this league, right? He relied so much on his God-given ability, his talent. And you've seen most coordinators that have come in, they've tried to keep it as simple as possible for him, right? First, second read, or you pull it down, you're running with it, right? That's how most of his career has been, and it's worked, right? I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls with that. This is going to be a lot more of, the scheme. If it works, this should be the best offense the Eagles have ever had. Like, not just run block wise, like this should really help Saquon compared to last year, but Hurts. Like, people say Hurts can't pass over the middle. There's tons of numbers out there that say otherwise. He just hasn't been asked to because A.J. Brown, a dominant receiver, you don't want to send him across the middle. You want to keep working the edges with A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, also another great outside receiver. Their offense wasn't catered to that. Now they've kind of moved in that direction where they've drafted guys to fit that middle of the field scheme. They're not on the field. Like, Lemon has not practiced. He's been unhealthy. Stowers, the tight end, the kid they drafted, he's probably not going to see the field. He just can't block. And if you can't block as a tight end, you'll never see the field. So this team to me is going to be what they were 2 years ago. I think they're going to try to lean heavily into Saquon, obviously, but it's really about the defense. This is going to be year 3 for most of these guys playing in Fang's defense. That's a huge deal. Like, the fact that you already have a ton of talent, right? Especially, inside between Jordan Davis and Carter. That's the linchpin of that defense. And then behind them is Zach Bond, who you could say is a top 5 linebacker in this league. Next to him is a first-round pick in Jod Campbell, who, if he lives up to his number, should be dominant. And then you have Quinyon Mitchell and obviously Cooper Jazine on the outside. The weakness for the defense might be the edges and might be safety, but you can mitigate those things. Like, they have the talent around that. So just on paper, it's all there for the Eagles. Can Hurts succeed in this new system, right? Is it going to be too smart for him in year 1 where he's just going to be uncomfortable? He won't be able to mesh with it. I would bet against that. Every year he's figured out these offenses. It might take half a year to figure it out, but he does eventually figure it out. I mean, it's tough learning a new offense every year. I mean, Mahomes, he's been in the same scheme for 9 years. Like, think about that. Like, it's so easy coming in when you already know the scheme. So Eagles fans were panicking the first 2 weeks. I know their preseason game, they have 3 first downs. It's going to be ugly. Like, it's going to be ugly learning a new scheme. That's a complicated scheme. But to me, this is an Eagles team that, as the year goes along, just like the year they won the Super Bowl, they're going to keep getting better. And as long as they get the 1 or 2 seed, that's the key to me. Like, if they have to go to Seattle, that could be a problem in the playoffs. But if the Seattle's come to them, if the Rams are coming to them, we've seen it. Stafford outdoors in that cold, that was the reason the Eagles beat them, you could say, partially. So they're a team that needs to get the top seed, but just value-wise, looking at them, I still think they're being looked over. I still think people put the Rams and the Seahawks way above them, where it's not that far off talent-wise. It's just those, Sam Darnold's about to learn a new offense as well. Like, Kubiak left. So they're kind of in the same page there, their offense, where that's why I give the bump to the Rams right now, where Stafford's in the same scheme, and their defense is much better. So as high as I am on the Eagles, it's going to be a tough go this year. It's going to be a lot of questions about this offense. And after a down year last year, you're hoping Lane Johnson can come back healthy. He's basically come out and said he's probably going to retire after this year. It's most likely. So it is a lot dependent on older guys staying healthy and this offense clicking in this new scheme under Sean Mannion. So I'm excited for it, but would I bet they're over 10.5? I probably would not.
What would it take for you to be off the Jalen Hurts experience? Because, as you pointed out, coming out of college, like, you believed his gift was going to be his athleticism and his ability to extend plays. And that is something that he's going to do less and less. He tried to do it less and less last year during the regular season. He tried to do it less and less the year before, and then he really unleashes it during the playoffs. So he's now getting older. There have been a lot of issues with him throwing the ball downfield when it's not A.J. Brown. So many questions this year. What do you feel like, if you start seeing, would take you off Jalen Hurts as being the quarterback that you say he is, that does not get a lot of support from the rest of the NFL community? There
is support. It's just they pick and choose. That's why, like, fans of the show wanted me to be killing you, Chad, because you didn't have him in your top 10, and you had, I don't even know, it might have been like Drake May at number 5 and someone else above him. That was crazy. I try to explain to people, Chad's part of the group, but he just doesn't like Hurts. He doesn't like his style of play, which I had nothing against you, but you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't say he's better than any quarterback in the Super Bowl era that the Bears have ever had. He's more accomplished than any quarterback the Bears have ever had in their years since Sid Luckman. So that's a hard truth you need to sit with. And you want to put Drake May above him, you want to put Caleb Williams above him. I'm not going to kill Chad for that. It's his list, but it's like, yeah, do I think it's stupid? Of course. I just told you why it's stupid. It's like Jalen Hurts has the second most wins since he's became a starter behind only Josh Allen, who you put number 1. He has a ton of playoff success, which Josh Allen does not have. So that's my thing where it's like, you either get it or you don't. And yeah, do I wish that, we had the same OC? I wish Steichen had stayed here because I think we'd be even better and Jalen Hurts would be better for it. I think a lot of that screws with him where it's like, you're changing OCs constantly. I mean, last year was a train wreck of a year. I think everyone always pointed to that Chargers game, right? That was probably the worst game he's ever played. What do you have? 4 turnovers in that game. He had 14 touchdowns and 1 turnover at home last year. So even though it was all gone to shit, he still did what he does every year, which is he wins home games. We talked about betting wise. You basically just a blindly bet their money line at home with Hurts. It's a winner. So for me to get off the Hurts train, say the Cowboys win the division this year, and then whoever, the Washington wins it next year, and we're barely above 500, Howie's got to let him walk. Like, if this kid can't win 10 games with this roster back-to-back years, I would let him walk. But if they were bad this year, I wouldn't really hold that against him. It's like he's learning a whole new offense. Clearly, Lane Johnson was out this year, or they had injuries to the wide receiver position. Like, it wouldn't, to me, he's such a winner. You would need so many things to happen for him not to get to 10 wins or win this division. So, looking at it right now, like, the reason I'm just a little down on them this year is because I think Dallas has made that big of a step. They made that big of a leap where they could easily steal this division. And, last year they won the division back to back. That's the first time someone's done that in this division in 20 years. So it's stacked against them a little bit of history of it's rare to win it back to back, let alone 3 years in a row. The Cowboys have made obviously the right moves. The front office has done well. Will their defense be improved? That's left to be seen. At least I know right now as we sit here, the best unit in this entire division is the Eagles defense, and it's not close. Now, if the offense with Saquon and Hurts, can they find their way? I think they can. Like, they have a ton of talent here. It's just, I'm a little hesitant just because it's such a complicated offensive scheme. And that's, like you said, that's been my knock on Hurts coming out. It's just like, I just didn't have faith on him being able to learn these complicated NFL schemes, and he has. I mean, I know you said something about his deep ball. That's like his one shining grace. I think he's rated number 1 on deep shots, on completion, but he picks and chooses. Like, Drake May, he probably threw 3 times the amount of deep balls last year. Hurts just is not that guy. He just does not take risk because he's going to be the reason teams lose. So it is boring. I agree with people. It's boring, but it works and it's successful. So for For me, I wouldn't bet them divisional odds. I wouldn't bet them win total odds. I just think the other teams in this division have better percentages. So if you want to do parlays, though, I don't mind doing the Eagles division odds with, if you want to do the Chiefs or the Bills, wherever you're doing with, I don't mind that. But just straight betting, I'm not going to lock my money up for 6 months on plus 125 for them to win this division, where I put them closer to plus 150. So it's just, to me, there's just no value there.